My name is Kenny Dial, and I want to welcome you to Season 3 of the Scuba Diving Podcast. We're kicking off Season 3 with something near and dear to my heart, and that's growing the dive industry. I got lucky enough to bump into somebody who I think is spearheading just that. It's Alexis Jabbour behind the PADI app. I just searched PADI Scuba in the App Store. It comes up really quick. It's pretty easy to find. It kind of looks like an OK sign. But I feel like this is going to be the next level for scuba diving. It transcends all of the things that sort of keep everybody in their little bubbles, no pun intended. And I think it just makes it more fun. It rekindled the magic for me. I am fully behind this. Hopefully you'll add me on there. I think we're on to something. So I hope you enjoy the show. Alexis, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for making the trip. You came a long way.
Yeah, I mean, Hawaii is a journey to Florida, but it's worth a while.
You're handling the jet lag perfectly. This is all pretend and caffeine, and you're doing it gracefully.
Yeah, well, we went on some dives. That freshened me up as well.
Yeah, there's nothing exhausting about scuba dives. That's how you rest, right? Nobody gets sleepy after a dive. Okay, so you're the woman behind the curtain with PADI app. Why did you decide to make an app for divers?
Why? Because there wasn't one that did everything that I wanted it to do. How? Well, what prompted it was a wonderful instructor and a wonderful dive trip that really inspired me to just put the idea into action.
What specifically were you wanting to do and you're just like...
Truly, it was validate my dive, and I don't keep my paper log. Like, I just don't.
What do you say to the people that do keep a paper log? I know a lot of people still do.
Dedication, great, good for them. Like, killer.
Yeah, here's what happened to mine. I was getting my 50 dives for Divemaster, and it got soaked. And I know they make the waterproof ones, and it's all weird. You got the pencil, and it's like, so yeah, mine just went bye-bye.
We're packing lighter, and they were big. They came in binders. Like, I remember my first one was like a zip one that I could fill out inside.
Yeah.
And just over time, the more dives that you do, the less you log them. But, you know, it's 2023. We're always on our phones. It's possible for us to do right now, so that's why I wanted to do it.
And I know for a fact, because a couple nights a week, I say goodbye to our divers at the aquarium where I work. And a good handful still have a paper log. A lot of them go, oh, I forgot my log, or I didn't expect to dive, or I couldn't find it at the last minute, or whatever. It's just one extra book to bring. You just said it was 2023. Why has no one been able to pull off an app that does it all so far?
It's a difficult task.
Wait, so the answer is because it's hard?
It's hard. It's very hard. And there are a lot of apps out there that do wonderful things. Where you can share your photos with users, or you can filter your pictures, or you can log your dive, or you can have it stamped, but not all in one place. And I think as I've started to design and build it and really create it, reach those hurdles, and I realize why it hasn't been done. It's very difficult.
Yeah, but you're doing it, and I've obviously, we're sitting here because I thumbed through it. We met actually at DEMA, talking about 6 or 7 months ago.
I know, I can't believe it's been that long.
It's been way too long, but that was a happenstance. Someone was like, hey, check out this app, and I was like, oh, another kind of buggy app, another kind of does some of the things, kind of cute app, whatever. As an instructor or dive professional, other than showing students, it's just not practical. And it was fun. I looked at it and goes, oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, and it does that. Yeah, but what about tipping? It does tipping, and it did all the other things. You even could identify species, which I thought was really cool. So it did a lot. It really does do everything, and I can't imagine, like, oh my gosh, like, just gotta ask, have you burn out at all? Have you had am I really wanting to do this? Now, your background is in advertising, user interface, user experience. You've done big stuff. I'm going to steal your thunder here. You've worked on Madden, Nike Run Club, Adobe.
Volkswagen and Porsche and Gap, and I didn't work on Nike Run Club, but I do describe my app in that way. I've done a lot of brand campaigns, built apps, but for marketing purposes, which gave me a little bit of background in doing this, which is why I wanted to make the focus on the design of it and how simple it could be and smooth it could be and more social it could be. But as time has gone on, you know, it's a lot of work. I've put a lot of my time and effort into it. There's been lulls, there's been a little burnout here and there, but now since DEMA, it's like picked up such steam, and I'm really like driving hard and having a wonderful time, like pushing it even further.
It's actually out there. Like, you can download it right now.
Yes.
Already. So I feel like the wind's on your back now. Now it's refinement. Right?
Yes, it's refining. It's asking everybody, Is this functioning the way you want? Let's add the features that are necessary. Let's see what the feedback would be. We're adding computer integration. We're adding filters. We're adding ways to find buddies. So it's going to be a monthly update. So yes, you can download it. Like, it's available. It's fully functional. You can log your dives. You can add buddies. It's just that with the feedback coming in, we want to tailor it to the dive community. We're just making sure that we update it in that way.
Dive community, is it tough to please sometimes?
I think we all know the answer to that.
Yes, we do. We've seen apps out there. I've seen apps out there. Nothing really held my attention. Nothing I felt like I didn't have that, like, ooh, I want to go on there. Or, ooh, I can't wait to see what so-and-so is doing. Or, ooh, I want to build out a profile. I haven't had any apps that scratched me where I itched and got me excited to dive. Obviously, I do it all the time, do it for a living. To actually go back, and I know most instructors and dive masters are like, yeah, I haven't kept a log in 1,000 dives ago, or whatever. Realistically, though, no one else has really been able to do it on any real grand scale that the whole dive community, or at least the majority, has gotten on board with. Why do you suppose that is?
There have been a couple of people who've definitely put great apps out there. Affiliations have their own apps out there as well.
Like PADI, NAUI,
yes,
SSI.
Yes, and there's other great apps that people can log their dives on too. But they all have one great thing about them.
Right.
Simply log the dive. Simply filter your photo. Simply add your certification. Not all in one place.
Right.
I think it hasn't been done because it's a segmented community, and it's very difficult to bring all of those elements into one place.
It is. I mean, that's the whole premise of our show. My brand is trying to transcend those divisions within an already very, very tiny. And then when you start slicing it up with agencies and gear lines and tag versus rec and free diving, that brings me to another point. You're even including free diving.
Yes,
Cool.
for sure. Snorkeling too, which is something that I've learned as we've been working on it. Students, people who are interested in diving but maybe seem a little scared about it, they still love the water, they still want to snorkel, they still love diving. We should include them, and those are the people that we should encourage to dive. Like, we want more people diving. That's why we have this app. More people dive, the more people will care about the ocean, And
everybody wins.
Most people in the dive community love the ocean.
You're absolutely, totally agree. Actually, I was going to ask you, like, how does this help? But I think you kind of answered a question there, because this is a mistake we've all made in the dive industry. You forget about everyone, like, maybe one person does the dive, but the spouse or the kids or the friend doesn't dive. And so you're kind of including them, whether it's snorkeling or whatnot. I guess my big question was going to be, how does this really help divers?
Well, I think it helps in a lot of ways. You can think of it from a recreational point of view in terms of capturing those memories and getting those logs validated, versus the professional who dives every single day, able to promote themselves a little more, able to be tipped, able to add their dive shop, able to add their social accounts. It's a tool for professionals, and it's a fun tool for recreational divers as well.
This sounds funny, but I was talking to Katie a couple nights ago, and I just didn't care. And I know most instructors are like, I work with a bunch of them, and this was the first thing that actually sparked that magic back when I started, of just like, it got me excited again, kind of in that new diver phase, where everyone wants their stickers and their logs and that other cert and like that new piece of equipment, and you just want to, it recaptured that for me as a professional diver. I think that in itself was a magic trick.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you. Obviously, I'm rooting for you. That's why we're here. A lot of people are on the fence about getting scuba certified, or a lot of people are thinking about it and they're just not sure, or they have questions, or they just, I hope I'm included in that crowd or whatever. You're saying this app is actually set up to welcome people that aren't certified yet.
Yes. Let's start with the divers. Regular scuba divers and free divers who are already certified are going to be the first ones to be on this app, and they're going to log their dives. But how do you share that dive log with the people who don't dive?
Right.
Especially now, because they're not visualized. It's like a bunch of graphs, and that's more intimidating than it is appealing. So we've created a way to share your dive log socially on your different social media channels, even just through a URL link with your friends that visualize it for you. It makes it more accessible. It makes it draw you in. in. It makes it seem like it can be real for other people too. So there's that aspect of it, of just simply being able to share your logs in a beautiful, more accessible way that makes and draws people in from a different crowd that wouldn't necessarily be on the app already.
We see it on social media, like we all have social media and we're scrolling through at night in our beds. I feel like it's almost a way to like kind of, it sounds cheesy to say relive it, but like kind of go back into the hangout area from our beds, from our phones, like go back and see who's diving where and share ours and comment on it versus just hoping you stumble across something on social media which has everybody. This is just divers or soon to be divers.
Yes, you dive so much, and most professionals do, that you're not necessarily looking back through that log. The recreational people, the ones that go on vacation once or twice a year, they cherish those things. They do look at them. They do want their instructors to validate that. They do want to have pictures in there. Remember what those animals looked like from a visual aspect, not just writing it down. So it really fills both cups to look back at, but also to discover and see the magic of other people's dives. Yeah, all of your friends are diving, right? But you don't know like where they're diving. This would be a tool to either share it in a way for them to understand it a little better, or simply try to attract a different group of people. Like, you're able to look at other people's dive logs, just like a scroll feed. If they're your buddy, you can see where they've been diving. You can comment on it, you can like it. So it's a different aspect of looking at your dive logs. It's a wallet of your dive logs, but you also have access to other people's.
Great. I think it's fun. I think it's because you can do it in real time. I think it's a hoot. You know, this definitely is something for new divers or people that are thinking about getting certified. Even they can already be on the app. The new divers, maybe you got a few dives. What about seasoned divers?
It's best for seasoned divers.
Best.
Yes, okay. I would say, we made this app for seasoned divers. The goal is to get more people diving in the world, but we're focusing on the soul dive community right now. Seasoned divers, it was made just for them. How can they market themselves? How can they make more money for themselves? How can they use this as a tool to promote themselves in a way that they're already doing, linking to their social profiles, adding to their tipping functions? Yes, it's a wallet of your dive logs. It's a way to connect with your customers. It's a way to keep a circle loop going. It's a way to contact them in a dive-related way. It's helping them in multiple aspects.
Funny you say that, because I just had somebody that was, when you go to that country, look for this charter. There was a guy on there, I think his name was, we've all had that happen 100 times if we've been doing any kind of traveling, and that's a big problem, because it's like, these were great dive masters. For the life of me, couldn't remember their name. I don't remember the name of the boat. It was 2 years ago. If we had that then, the good dive masters, I think, would be booked solid with returning customers and instructors.
Oh, 100%. I've had my favorite instructors out there who I would recommend over and over and over again. Sometimes those people are a little bit difficult to find. So this would really make it helpful for people to contact them for diving.
Quick segue. Is there going to be any sort of like reviews function on there eventually?
There will be. Next year, we're going to be launching the booking platform. And with the booking platform comes where you can directly book a tour through an instructor or through a dive shop. And of course, you will have reviews with that.
Okay, cool. Almost like a TripAdvisor, but it's hyper-focused.
Very much so, yes.
Cool. I have been in this chair, so I'm going to ask for everyone out there, what about the dive shops?
Wonderful. The booking platform is being built just for them, but the app is for all their staff, all their customers. It's...
Wait. So are their staff going to get on the app, create a following, and then leave them?
Is that what they do already?
That's facts.
I think that if divers travel, they go from shop to shop. Some are loyal to shops. It's dependent on the person, like always.
Doesn't change the same thing that's happening.
No, but you can think of Buddy as LinkedIn and Nike running, but for diving. You have your resume, your profile, whether you're just a regular diver or professional diver. You're gonna be able to add your dive shops, more than one. It'll link to those dive shops. You'll be able to add your profiles. But the most important thing is that you can log their dives and you can include what dive shop it was at. It's great for the dive shop. It creates also a circle of communication for them as well. If all of their staff is linking to their dive shop on their buddy profile, it's essentially getting all of their people to market for them.
Right, yeah, actually I think that's kind of a win-win. I get that question, I would say daily, almost daily. What shop do you recommend in Central Florida area? Because there's got to be 30 within an hour's radius. We're not even in South Florida yet. I started out as an independent instructor. That is how I did it. I created a following. I started teaching actually out of we call them Florida rooms here in front of our house. It was across from a marina with a pool, and I made a little classroom, and the garage had all the gear, and that is what got me started. And I grew from there and opened the dive shop and yada yada, here we are. I obviously have a soft spot for the independent instructor in my heart. And I've been a dive shop owner too, and I believe these can all work hand in hand. And I think if they both work together, they both get stronger. And I can say that I've been on both sides. So I guess my biggest question of all is, how does this help the independent instructor?
Helps them the most. There are hundreds of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dive professionals. And
really?
Yeah, I believe that even just like a PADI statistic is that there's 150,000 active dive professionals. I mean, seriously, maybe you're going to look that up and I'm totally wrong, but I'm almost positive that
we'll check it, but you could be, well, if you count Divemasters and everything, then yeah, that sounds right.
Professionals.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the number's smaller with instructors. We specifically had in mind individual instructors, independent instructors, because they're doing it all themselves. You know, they don't have the dive shop funding and they don't have the facilities. And so we wanted to create a tool for them to like help them get bookings, help them get more attention, help them market themselves. I mean, it's already so much work having to put together the shop in the first place.
Yeah.
And now you need to go and like connect with people and like market yourself and like find a way to book things. I mean, it's a lot. So this is really like a tool especially to help independent instructors.
One thing that really shines to you that you believe is going to be a game changer for independent instructors?
The tipping function, 100%. People don't have cash on them all the time. And when you go diving, you're getting off the boat, you're getting your dive log signed, or you're gathering up all your gear. You either are putting it in a full crew jar, or you just don't have time, or you want to reach back out to them. There's just so many reasons. People just, it's hard to get people to tip you. And this just makes it the way that everybody gets paid. Venmo, PayPal, Zelle. You can link all of that on there.
Cash App?
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
Cash
That's
App as
all
well.
of them.
Yeah, I've had dive shops. They were not so happy about this feature as they want to pool their tips. But as a customer, I want to tip my person individually. I will tip the captain, I will tip the dive master, but I want to tip the person who helped me.
Or you could give them a little extra. Like, you know, you do a trip, right, and you throw a 20 in the thing or whatever it is, and then maybe another 10 or 20 to them.
Yes.
The person actually did help you and went out of their way. Yeah.
100%. I think that if they're working for it, they deserve it.
What about mermaids?
We are working on that now, and I hope we can work with you. Again, we want to talk to the community about it. We want to see what aspects of it would work for them. So just like we've integrated free diving, we will integrate it for the mermaids, but we just want to do some testing and make sure it's in the right place.
So it's going to be like a modified free diving.
Yes.
Would you get, like, does that make
Yeah,
sense?
I would put it in that category. We're still talking to a few people to see where we might nestle that in, where it would make the most sense for them, but definitely.
Mermaiding is absolutely becoming a legit segment of the overall just underwater community beyond diving. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. We've had one of the most amazing people I've ever seen, all of the alchemists, sitting right here in this very room.
Amazing.
All right, let's blue sky this.
Okay.
If everybody got on this right now, every single diver, free diver, snorkeler, mermaid, just poof, we all have it. We check it every day. Would there be a downside to anybody in the industry?
No, it's for everybody. You can add any of your certifications. You can share them
I'm
with
sorry, I
anyone.
know that's a tricky one.
No. And my answer is just like, no, of course there's not a downside, you know?
Right. Could you see somebody going, well, yeah, but, well, you know.
There's going to be a lot of people who say that. But I think over time, you want to be where your friends are at. You want to be where the community is at. You want to see what other people are doing. You want to go dive the newest places and most fun spots as well. You don't want to be left out. So if everybody's on here, you're only going to get to go dive more. You're only going to learn more about diving. You're only going to get more people to start diving. And I don't think there's anything negative about that. The more people that dive, the more people that will care about the ocean.
I agree, and I think that, let's say you use a specific, I know SSI has an app, PADI has an app, most of the agencies have an app, there are some other apps out there. Let's just say I'm Dive Shop X, or dive operator X, and I use this app a lot and I promote it and everything. Well, I've invested all this time and energy into this. I think that worst case scenario, maybe they do leave that app and they get on Buddy, but a third more divers are gonna, over time, it's gonna draw a lot more people. If you had a third more people walking in your door because of this app, is it really that bad?
Of course. I know that people put a lot of time and effort into their current dive logs. Truly. I did as well. I went through all the apps to try and find which one was most suitable for me, which is why I ended up making my own. I don't want to force people to get on this, use what you're using, use what works for you, but in time you're going to end up being on it anyways.
That is a strong statement.
Because you'll go where the people are. You'll go where there's visibility.
You got me. I'm on there. Join, friend me, buddy me. I've actually watched you talking to people. We've already done a few dives together. We've done 3 locations so far.
Yes.
In 3 days.
Yes.
2 days.
2 days.
So we've done a lot of diving already. Heard you talking about it in real time. I think people are also a little shocked to find out you're the person. You're like, oh yeah, that happened. And you're like, oh, you made that?
Yeah. You don't expect the developer, the person, I suppose, to be a woman in their 30s. Maybe it's a little shocking considering the dive industry skews a little older and a little different, but I think there are a lot of younger people diving. Yeah, it's a little shocking that it's me, but
I think it's a step in the right direction. I think it's good. I do believe the dive industry and the underwater industry as a whole is shifting, and it's shifting pretty quick, thankfully.
I think, it's a small community. You said that earlier. It's small, but let's just extend it a little bit. That's only going to make people more money. For shops and for instructors, they do it because they love it, but they still need to eat.
Right. And everybody knows that working in scuba diving is not a get rich quick scheme. It's the other end of the stick. No, I can empathize with that. What is your fairy tale, if everything goes perfectly and if you get all your wishes before the clock strikes 12, what are those wishes?
Imagine how skiing and snowboarding didn't used to be that incredibly popular. It was an extreme sport. You were kind of crazy for doing it if you were, really, really going down the black diamonds and stuff. But it's a very popular sport. Skateboarding as well. Red Bull and Nike have taken those sports to a very public domain.
Yeah.
Not everybody participates, but they're well aware of it.
Right.
That would be my fairy tale goal. Why can diving can be the same?
In fact, for most ski trips, diving is a lot less expensive, despite what people think.
And despite what people think, it can be just a lot more calming.
It can be calming or adventurous. That's what I think is cool about diving.
It can go both ways.
And you get to choose.
Yes.
It's kind of like you can do the bunny or the black diamond.
Exactly. And it really can happen. It's totally possible. It's just a matter of how we frame it and who we target and who we market it to and working together. We really have to work together on it if we want it to grow. So.
Yeah, everyone has to get on. It's just like Uber. You have to have enough drivers and you have to have enough people asking for the drive for it to work. But if you can match that around the same time, we get a forward step in technology. I mean, we've used it today,
yes.
Right?
And if you think about it, think about just recently, it was a few years ago, but Tales by Light on Netflix, or even there's a show with Zac Efron, Scuba Diving. I mean, you're starting to see more people diving. It's becoming a little more, it's seeping into pop culture a little more, into social media a little more. People are starting to have access to it. So it's totally feasible that we can reach the same heights as just all the other sports.
No dissing on the other sports. I'm a little biased, and I've talked about this a lot, but I think scuba diving brings a lot more different flavors than, say, snowboarding or skiing. And those are awesome, but that's what you do. You just go down the mountain on the snow. And there's the lodges and all that stuff, but scuba diving has way more, and it covers so much. You do cold or warm or, and it's not...
And you can do easy. You can do technical. You can do it commercially. I mean, there's such a wide range of diving. There is so much room for it to grow.
So to summarize, your fairy tale blue sky would be scuba diving, and I agree, should be as, if not more, mainstream than, let's say, snow skiing and snowboarding.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Well, good luck.
Yes.
I don't think you're going to need luck, though.
If we work together on it, it's going to roll out smoothly and just quicker than any of us would expect.
Well, you're definitely putting the work in. I need to borrow a little bit of that energy. even though you're jet lagged and you flew in, you're on no sleep, you had a rough night, we won't even get into that.
Travel.
You're here at 110%. So if you're doing that now, I have all the faith in the world that this is going to be the best app I've ever seen.
Oh, yay.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
And that is a wrap. That was the first of many interviews with Alexis, the mastermind behind the Buddy app. You can also follow their playlist on Spotify, and that will have all of our interviews in one spot. If you want to support my channel, go to sweetwaterscuba.com. We have all the good stuff like the shirts, the hats, the stickers, everything. Autographed kids books are on there, and wholesale opportunities for retailers. We're on almost every major channel, put out daily content, new stuff all the time. I'm on live all the time, so hopefully I'll see you on either TikTok, Kenny_Dial, Instagram, Sweetwater_Scuba, or just search me in your browser, Kenny Dial. One of those should come up. Finally, the YouTube channel has all the podcasts and all of the short form stuff. It actually kind of has everything in one spot. Either way, I hope to see you on one of these apps, on one of these pages. Whatever connects us to the underwater world, I hope to see you there. Let's show the rest of the world the rest of the world.